Welcome, everybody, to another Expert Talk series. What a pleasure to have you with your extended family tonight. As you're aware, research on ALS is continuously progressing. At Everything ALS, we are dedicated to uncovering new discoveries, aiding in early detection, and working towards finding a cure for ALS. You can assist us by participating in our speech study. The purpose of the speech study is to enhance the diagnosis and prognosis of ALS. We are seeking participants to provide 5 recordings, each lasting 15 minutes, once a month for 5 months. Not too much, but it really makes a big difference. We welcome healthy participants as well as individuals diagnosed or probable with ALS to join us. To enroll, please visit everythingals.org//speech project and fill out the form. You'll find that email address in our chat. So welcome, everyone. What a pleasure to have you here tonight. And with that, I'll turn it over to Indu.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And today is going to be kind of, who are the experts? We are the experts, or you guys are the experts. So with that, we're going to talk a little bit about the app that we have developed or we've gone live with. And the features in the app is really to enhance our online experience of us coming together, and how do we actually bring that to the offline? That is, when we're not together, we want to carry some of these connections and some of these conversations online as well. So, and also we've added other features, which I'm going to bring it up right now. This is the app that we have. So when you download the app, this is how it's going to look. So we'll talk about each of the feature, but to start off with, I want to say the main sections are, all the expert talk series is documented here. So you can easily access all of the videos and also see the upcoming events. So it's all in the app, and also the research that we just talked about. So we can enroll in the research, and people who are already in the research, you will be able to see your dashboard through there. And there is care log where you can look at, you can document your ALSFRS, motor exam, daily journal, and also there's going to be a diet app integration, which we will talk in more detail. But we'll start off with what we call pathfinders. And today we have people who have joined who are going to be connecting, and McFinn will walk us through the Pathfinder section. So the Pathfinders, as you can see, are us. That is the people who are either going through the journey, ALS journey, or the caregivers who are volunteering their time and their know-how to come in and answer any of the questions. So this is like ask anything, any questions. And, we kind of do that, right? We come here and ask about a lot of questions on how to deal with day-to-day journey of ALS. And this is something that we wanted to put this together. And if you want to be a Pathfinder, please let us know and send us an email, and we will get you into the Pathfinder program. But if you want to just
I
ask
was thinking,
questions,
we heard 18 years and we've never had.
And ask questions, please, feel free to ask this question. Without any further ado, I'm going to hand it over to McFinn and the Pathfinders who are joining us today to say, their participation and why we're doing what we're doing through the app. McFinn?
Yes.
It's all yours.
All right. Thank you. Oh, just a minute, everybody. I'm coming right up. Hey. Got it. All right. Welcome. All right. Welcome to my screen, everybody, and welcome to the Pathfinders. We have ALS, or we're a caregiver. We're experienced, and we feel for each of you. And communication is like separating yourself from isolation. The Pathfinders are a tool for that because they're always, well, not 24 hours a day, but they are always available once you contact them. And so there's some personalities that go with these Pathfinders. And whoa, come back, McFinn. Come back.
You might want to do the back button. Yeah. Yeah, there. Back arrow.
Yeah. Oh, nope. Okay. Thank you all for sticking with me. Okay. So we got, when you come on, this is a copy of what your app will look like. And if there's someone who you would like to choose to talk to, you can just come over and you probably want to get to know maybe a little bit about them. So if you hit on this eye, there comes Joe, and there comes all about Joe. And the rest of it is right down there below. So just know that you can always, there you go. So Joe is here tonight, and I'm sure Joe will introduce himself and say a few words. And John, oh boy, McFinn. And John is here tonight, and he has his bio right there. Each of the Pathfinders have their bio. So John, thank you for being with us tonight. And Willard is with us. And Willard, oh, well, Willard's got a new little name there. But anyway, there's always little things that you can fix. So just know that the Pathfinders are real people with a real mission, and they want to share their time with you. There's that thing in life called, I need to talk to somebody. And so when you might want to talk to somebody, you can go right here, just hit that. Then if you want to talk to a message, wish that would go away, please. It's amazing. Come on. Hey, give me a break. Thank you. You know, we all just do this because we love it. And so if we have problems, that's okay. I just want to go back one more time and say the Pathfinders app is where, let's just do, I'm going to give you an example. Here's McFinn. Somebody just wrote me. His name was Jason. So Jason said, I had ALS for 6 months and I would really love to connect with a telephone call. So then I just respond to Jason. Now I made this up. So that's why my pictures are there, but this is just an example. So then I respond to Jason, and then Jason can respond back to me. And it's like an email back and forth. So that is that's the way that you want to type a message, and you will receive one back. So just anytime, like hit McFinn, and right down here at the bottom is where you put your message in. Hi. Now the situation is when you send your message, you see this arrow down here. I'm going to hit it one time, and it did not send it. It waits for the second hit. The second hit, send it right to me.
Yeah, and we'll fix that. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. So that is a big part of the Pathfinder's service to you. That means that you can connect with them through this app. And if they don't respond to you immediately, just know that they are coming your way ASAP. And with that, let's go down to my care log.
McFinn, do you want to go through the others who are there in the audience? You can introduce your other Pathfinders.
Oh,
and
yeah.
bio.
Please. Thank you so much. Oh,
I
sorry.
can actually bring it up here if you.
Okay, sorry about that, folks. Just one second. Okay, we're back. And let me exit.
No, go to the Pathfinders.
Oh, Got
and
it.
go to the bio of, I think, John. Go hit I on the right-hand side. Yeah. You
Got
can
it.
see his bio, right? Do show
Yes.
more. And John is in the audience. John, do you want to introduce yourself?
So hello, everybody. Some of you have heard me before, some of you haven't, but what we're doing with the Pathfinders is ALS can be a very lonely disease, but you need to know you're not alone. And one of the toughest things is that middle of the night thing that you wake up and you're thinking about, you want to ask somebody, but you don't have your next multidisciplinary team meeting for 2 months. And it's so hard to see a doc. And the next time you get online is going to be another week from now. Sometimes you just want to reach out and talk to somebody. And that's what the Pathfinders are here for. We are either with ALS or we're caregivers of people with ALS. We're walking this journey with you. We're on the road, but we know that sometimes you just need a little reassurance. You need someone to go out and say, hold my hand. We're going to go ahead a few more steps. And that's what we're here for. So we each have different strengths and weaknesses, but we're all available for you. The reason we all volunteered to do this is we all want to help the same way someone helped me, for example, get over those first few months and get steady with the realization of what's happening. And you're going to have a million questions with ALS. There's no doubt, and your doctor is not always going to be available. The forums, sometimes everyone is jammed in. This is a chance for you to chat a little one-on-one. So hopefully, if you have any opportunity, you can always drop me a line on the app and I'll write back to you.
Thank you, John. Hey, we got some more Pathfinders here. Willard, come aboard, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
Say hello to the group.
No,
Well,
go back to the back one. Go back, McFinn. I think Willard is in the next one. So you have, yeah, the next. Yeah, there.
Oh, okay. Just a minute. Got it. Thank you, Indu.
Sure.
There, we got it. Sorry. All right, Willard.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Good to be here with you all. And I'm happy to say that I'm a newly minted Pathfinder, maybe 3 weeks. But the reason I am here is I was fortunate to have, when I was initially diagnosed, I was fortunate to meet some folks who are actually walking the journey with us. And early on in my diagnosis, that they gave me insights as to what I might expect, and to know that everyone is different. Everyone will experience it different, and trying to keep that positive attitude is what we try to share here at with the Pathfinders, how you can maintain a good attitude. I'd like to share that as a Pathfinder, I just want to suggest, I suggest that whatever you loved doing before you were diagnosed, there might be a way you can continue to do it. And maybe we can discuss these things. Glad to meet you all.
Thank you, Willard. All right. Joe Redmond, my friend Joe.
I think Indu and McFinn and John and Willard have all said it already. You are not alone with what you're going through. So when you team up with us, it doesn't mean that we'll remove your obstacles, but we'll make you stronger to overcome them, because we may have been through them ourselves already. So it's important that if you overcome something, to reach behind you and help that guy overcome it. I'm very thankful for everyone who has helped me along the way. So my guiding principle is to get back. So it helps to remember that there are people who stand with you in the rain when they can be dry, C.S. Lewis said it. I've read it a while back. He said that you can't change your beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. So I want to help everybody change their name positively.
Thank you, Joe. That's being positive is what they call homemade medicine. And I want to tell you a little bit of something about Joe. When Joe became a Pathfinder, he wrote me and he said, McFinn, this is what I think a Pathfinder is. Pathfinder is somebody who's on the path. There's always somebody in front of you. There's always somebody in back of you. The inspiration of a Pathfinder is to turn around and put an open hand to that person who's coming up behind you and lift them up as best you can. And so, Joe, I always remember that I always turning around and offering an open hand. So thank you. That's folks, we're all special and we all want to help. But the Pathfinders have found some extra energy that they can distribute to the rest of you. So we have a number of we have Faith and Janie and Kathleen and Mike and Sean, a really fabulous group of people. They all weren't able to be with us today, but they are here in spirit and they will be with you when you contact them. So
Is
thank
Sean
you.
here, McFinn?
No, I did not see Sean today, but there's one guy here.
Did make it actually. I'm a little late, but I am
Yeah,
here.
Sean is here. Okay.
Sean, welcome. All right.
Sorry,
So
I'm at a hotel. I'm at a conference, and I had a hard time getting the Wi-Fi to work, and it's just been a nightmare. But I made it.
welcome, Sean. What makes you think that the Pathfinders is for you?
My main inspiration is that I've always enjoyed helping people. I love teaching. I'm in healthcare, so I've been helping my fellow coworkers. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm at a shop steward meeting where we're bargaining for a better contract for my fellow workers, that kind of thing. And I've always enjoyed that. So this seemed to be a natural extension that now that I've got this new family of ALS friends, that why wouldn't I want to be out there helping people? And it brings me pleasure, it brings me joy to help people. And it helps me when I help you. It keeps my positivity going and my self-worth. And it keeps my mind busy, keeps me out of those dark days of when I worry about what I can't do anymore instead of what I can do. And this is definitely something I can do. I can help other people with their problems. I can be an ear to listen to. The list goes on and on, but that's my main driving factor for being a Pathfinder. So I just love helping other people. And my wife calls it that I love getting those attaboys kind of thing. That's been our new joke around the house. So welcome everybody, and I hope I can be of service to somebody or to something. So
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. That's
Thank you.
anything else?
No, I think I just wanted to add that, when we developed, I mean, for me personally, when I went through the journey with my husband, it was very lonely. And that's the whole reason of creating the citizen-driven research, citizen-driven care to cure, which is goes with who we are, because this makes me very, very excited. And it really warms my heart to see that each one of the Pathfinders have actually contributed so much. And I'm a technologist, so when I said we have to build an app so that we have about 500,000 people coming into our YouTube channel with our expert talk series. And we cannot actually get everybody's time right. So this is like, everybody's in different time zones, but we want to create something that lives all the time. So this is the way for us to connect. We're taking something that expert talk live to digital as well. So we have both platforms to connect with. And as you went through, McFinn probably had never knew anything about technology before he joined us. And he's our QA now. We actually use him as our way and other Pathfinders to make sure this is usable by everybody and make it as easy as possible for everybody to navigate. And if you find anything that you want us to improve, please feel free to let us know. we'll have through the app or info@everythingals.org, and we continue to make that improvement. With that, I think I'm going to share my screen, McFinn, and we'll go through the other features that's there and quickly.
Beautiful.
And please feel free to ask any questions on the chat, and we'll also have an open question as well. And you have duplicate first name or last name. Paul, we'll take a look at it and we'll get back to you shortly. Okay. I think my colleague here will walk us through some of the other screens that we have. So we will walk through this other features that we have, like, for example, Care Log. Care Log has ALS-FRS, motor exam, and daily journal. And so the reason that we did these different elements was because, you know, as you are monitoring your ALS journey, when you actually talk to your physicians, there is a lot of things that you can actually share when you go to the exam or through televisit. That is usually very hard because when we go there, you know, all the exams are done only in that point of time. So, and also if it's telehealth, you can't really do the motor exam. So the goal is to make it easy. And I'm gonna have Christian, my colleague, actually walk us through some of the screens and how we do it.
I'm gonna screen share some screenshots. Just more so so that we can see kind of conceptually how it works. So as Indu was describing, once you go into My Care Log in the app, there are three main areas that are currently live. One is the ALS-FRS-R, where you can self-report and take the questionnaire as it goes to be able to update and periodically share the charts and sub-measures as you look at them. So these are interactive. So as you go through the questionnaire, you can actually go back and into your charts and actually drill down into just, say, fine motor or respiratory and bulbar to see where you are. That'll give you over time a history with it that allows you to kind of see what you might want to be bringing up with your clinicians and talk about, you know, with your family as well. The entire questionnaire is there. It's meant to be very easy to interact with just a tap of the screen. And following the same logic, we've actually introduced the addition of the ALS motor exam, which is this is an objective standardized approach that was developed in clinic and then introduced as a telemedicine assessment to be done. We've worked with the originators of the assessment from Emory University to actually incorporate it into the app, and we adapted it directly with them in collaboration to make sure that it was exactly aligned to what a clinician would want, even though you can do this yourself. And it's very simple. There are a series of exercises that go through a variety of the different key areas around bulbar, breathing, speech, and have you do just yes, no questions and this is a still frame, but they're actually little animations so that you can try to mimic exactly what's being captured. And with the simple yes, no, if you can or cannot do one of the assessments, one of the activities, then you go on to the next, and it'll branch a little bit to further refine. As I mentioned it, the scale assesses motor movement. It's really focused on neck, bulbar muscles, upper extremities, trunk, lower extremities, and will capture some of the breathing and coughing and things like that you might do in your assessment in clinic. Our goal, as you always know, is to remove the friction, to be able to introduce these kinds of tools, to be able to be done on your schedule at your time, as opposed to waiting for an in-clinic visit that could be exhausting to even get to. Again, this over time, you'll see a chart that you can track as well on the different aspects of it, so that you can share that with your clinical team, your physical therapists, etc. And finally, the newest addition as well is a daily journal. You know, there is always this gap between clinical assessments and what we call activities of daily living, which are the tracking of the kinds of tasks that you are trying to make sure that you can accomplish from day to day. Those tasks can be buttoning a shirt, cutting your own food. Really a wide variety of different tasks have been added into the arsenal of what are considered ADLs, activities of daily living. The gap often exists between those and more clinical assessments where we're tracking symptoms. So what we want to do with this daily journal is give you a chance to put those kinds of symptoms and your experiences with them in your own words that are actually captured a lot of the time with activities of daily living. So what you see here is actually a screen that you can tap and you can interact with, and circles will come up based on where you're feeling either something new, something different, maybe weakness or pain somewhere on your body, or just track where exactly you're feeling the ALS. But then also give you a comment section below to be able to give it more context as well. How is it impacting you? The utility of it is really that, some days you're not going to remember, or if weeks go by before you see your clinician or check in with them, that you'd be able to have something that really logged it for you that day. And you can go back and go into your history and see, okay, this is actually when I started experiencing it. Maybe it was weeks before you remembered it when you think back on it. And that's really, really important, of course, for tracking. It's also of great use to clinicians and even researchers who want to understand, if you were to ever start to develop this mindset of constantly journaling, being able to share that with people who you might be in a trial with, and you can say, hey, you know what, I actually did experience something at this time. So it's really for you to use as you need most, and how you feel best using it. And you'll see there at the bottom, there's a little hint of work to come. We are working on including food journaling and nutrition tracking as well, with some assistance of AI to make it easy to be able to scan foods and understand what it is you're consuming, so that you can help maybe track your anti-inflammatory diet efforts, that we know is so prevalent in the community as well. So the work is ongoing. It will continue to develop. The app is a living, breathing thing as we're putting it out there, as you see tonight. So we also welcome the feedback. If we can make it more usable for you, if you have suggestions for features, we will by all means be open to those as well. Give it back to Indu at this point.
Thank you. Let me go through. Sorry, I have to share my screen through my phone, so.
I know we've got a couple of physicians in the audience as well tonight too. So, when it comes to tracking these kinds of events or changes in people's lives, or even little things that might come up, it might be useful, Lyle or even Carl, to talk about your experience in how those can impact and help with conversations you have. There's Lyle. Hi.
Sure. Pardon me, I'm a little bit hoarse. I'm getting over some illness myself. But yeah, so it's super exciting. I mean, some of you may know Dr. Christina Fournier. So she's just this unbelievably smart and awesome ALS clinician at Emory in Atlanta. And for a long time, she's been focused a lot on figuring out, other scales that we can use to track progression of this disease beyond the ALS-FRS. And in, I think it was 2020, she got a grant from the Department of Defense, the ALS research program of the CDMRP, to develop two things. One thing is what's now called the ROADS, which some of you might have done in some trials, which is a disability scale that the R stands for rash built, and without describing too much about it, it's this super complicated math thing that is used in lots of diseases to create a disease scale where it doesn't matter if you have mild disease or severe disease, a difference of 1 point means the same thing. And a difference of 2 points is twice as much as the difference of 1 point. And so that was a questionnaire that would be administered to get a score. And then, we all got slammed by the pandemic, right? And in some ways, the pandemic helped move forward a lot of these kind of remote and telemonitoring strategies that we all use. And I know probably a lot of you on this call have had, appointments with your own docs over Zoom and other things. By the way, someone told me there's a conspiracy theory that COVID actually stands for conference videoing and blamed Zoom, the company, for the whole thing, but who knows? Anyway, so she had this great idea. This other scale that was called ALS motor. And it was a scale, exactly what Christian described to you guys, to go through and quantify a motor exam on somebody when they couldn't come into our brick and mortar clinics, right? And so it was designed specifically to be done by a physician during a televisit. And basically there's these detailed instructions about how we're supposed to ask you guys to, bend your arm this way and stick out your tongue and all that kind of stuff that we would do in clinic, and a way to score it. And then, the Everything ALS crew had this unbelievable idea about how easy it would be using this platform that Everything ALS has created to turn that into a self-reported scale. And we reached out to Dr. Fournier, and honestly, I think that she was a little bit amazed that would even be possible. And I remember, India, we had this call together where we were like, there's a bunch of those little animations, those little videos that are part of it. And you guys were trying to figure out what needed to be animated. And Dr. Fournier sort of demoed them all, right? So she would like do the movement, and then you guys were capturing it and turning it into those animations. And, as researchers and as clinicians, like, this is amazing. I mean, the fact that something can evolve so quickly, it's not what we're used to, right? We're used to these really long, drawn out ways to come up with new ideas and test them. And so now, this is part of this app, and it's because you guys are all using it, we're going to get tons of data really, really quickly. And we're going to figure out, is this useful and is it reliable? And does it measure something that's clinically meaningful? And another thing that Dr. Fournier is very involved in is figuring out, so all these scales, right, whether it's ALS FRSR or anything else, what's a clinically meaningful change? If you change by 1 point, does that actually matter? 3 points, 5 points? And you guys participating and just using this app is just unbelievable as far as, these videos. So I just remember I was the one laughing in the background, but we were having, Dr. Fournier sort of like do all these things into the camera, right? And go through them all. So, it's just incredible how this is enabling really fast research. And, we don't know how valuable this is going to be yet, but this is the way we find out. And it relies on all of you guys.
Thanks, Lyle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
if you go through, you will kind of see different questions. Thank you, Lyle. And I just wanted to share this as you were. Okay, back to you.
I think that's where we we turn it back to the Pathfinders and the conversation with the team. Like we said, if there's feedback as you use the app, by all means, we are constantly going to be improving little user experiences wherever we can. And it's really also a great way to stay connected. That's one of our other goals, is making sure that you have really useful conversations with each other, and that we're here to be a platform for you.
And one other thing I wanted to show is that, as I said, the expert talk series. And also we are experimenting this. And as you can see, we have a generative AI chat GPT based engine behind this. And it's still work in progress. It's not going to be accurate, but I just wanted to let you know that this is being tested and you can ask questions. So our goal is to make this for each of the expert talk series, you can actually go in and just chat about, summarize this, diet recommendation. I said for the diet one, I think we talked about what is a good diet recommendation for ALS and who recommended it. And you can do the same thing about, what is Rapid Therapeutics, what is, let's say, what is EAP. So it says EAP stands for Expanded Protocol in the Center of ALS, and Expanded Access Program is a program that allows patients who are not eligible for clinical protocols to access investigative treatments. I'll say, what is RAPA Therapeutics? Shows that RAPA Therapeutics is a clinical stage startup technology company founded by Dan Fowler and Brian Rickey, because both of them came and spoke. The company focuses on developing innovative and therapy technologies for treatments. And you can say, can you summarize the expert talk from RAPA Therapeutics? And it'll talk to you about during the expert RAPA therapeutic key points was discussed regarding development of innovative cell therapy technology for treatment of refractory cancer and neurodegenerative disease like ALS. The company's overreaching vision is to extend, bench to bedside paradigm developed by Dan Fowler, et cetera, et cetera. So our goal is, again, to bring technology. We'll continue to bring in cutting edge technology to ALS and what we are working on. And if you have any questions, we can take more questions.
Anybody? Little question? There's a lot of details going on here.
Well, all right. That means we're going to get a lot of people
Downloads and
downloads.
data, and again, the goal is to make it easy for all of us to interact and make it easy, because we realize watching the videos and you might want quick answers to these questions. Like I said, it's still work in progress and with generative AI, so you just have to ask the questions and double check your answer. But there's a lot of, we're trying to make it as easy, and also we're trying to link to certain video. If you have a question, it'll go exactly to that video and that part of the expert talk series. So we continue to work on making sure that these contents are easily accessible, so that I remember spending hours and hours going through these different content, but still coming up with not, I think I knew 5% of what I know today. So the goal is to give up-to-date information very easily.
I really like the journaling part of that app, in the sense that you can do those motor movement exams and see where you are in the realm of things. But then you can also make notes, like you say, personally, what happened this day, that day. So when you do go to the doctor, you're not guessing, well, I think it was last week or last month or 2 months ago, where it really is a nice place to document those things and keep track of different events. It's a great little addition.
Great point, Sean. And a couple of requests that we've gotten is people want to connect with each other based on how they are progressing and what they are feeling. So this will help us to connect with other people anonymously. And if they want to actually connect, with swipe right, swipe left kind of feature, so that it's not intrusive. If you don't want to take the call, it's fine. You don't have to respond. And secondly, clinical trials. If we have this data, we'll be able to surface new clinical trials that will be applicable for you, based on how you're doing in the ALS and the date of diagnosis. So based on inclusion and exclusion criteria. So that's our next phase of adding on to the app.
Yeah,
and
and
any other thing, please let us know. Yeah.
I had a question about, does the journal include a field to record when you start or stop various meds? And I was just replying that we did debate actually whether or not to add fields like those. We kind of are keeping it simple at first and letting people see how they use it. But that's something that certainly, if that's of value to people, to be able to keep track of that and add those kinds of dates, that could be very, very useful when you look back at a short or medium term history of both using medicines and as well as kind of additional events that happen after that. I think another use case that we've heard about too is capturing these events are also really useful to start to plan ahead as well. If you think that you may need to start advocating, or you may need your clinician advocating for new adaptive technologies, and a new chair down the road, things like that. This can give you a good, accurate log of when to start, when something might have started that you may want to actually talk about with your clinician to be able to get that process going ahead of time.
So to your question, we have it. We can bring this feature out, Lyle. For example, in the patient dashboard, for example, for speech, this is one of the examples. We have a way to say, okay, here, I was able to, if intervention, I got to supplement a start date, and then end date. If you don't have end, it's fine. And then there's save, and when you save it, it actually shows there's a new note, and it'll highlight, during that time. So there is a way to do it, and we've
Where
done
did
it
you
for
click?
other.
Where did you click to get that note? Did you just right click or
Yeah, just
go to
on
one of those
this.
boxes? Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I
and
didn't
then I
notice that one. Nice.
yeah, we should make it a little bit more
And
visible.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
wonderful. I was sort of, envisioning, that's within that study, right?
Right,
So,
yeah.
maybe someday in the future, as we've talked about, like, there's the opportunity here to be kind of crowdsourcing data collection
Yeah.
broadly. And if the journal allowed, people living with ALS to record when they were or weren't taking, or, or even in clinical trials, and whether they were in placebo, it doesn't matter if you even know that you're in placebo or not. Then at some point, down the road, you can imagine that all of this data might help us determine what different, what people may be benefited or didn't benefit from various things, right?
Right.
So I don't know. Outside the actual study, it might be interesting to be able to record that in the journals.
No, absolutely. I think we've done things like this, and we need to start. Great idea, and we'll do that actually. And to make it something that's usable, where you will be able to look at your own, ALSFRS and motor exam chart, and know that what intervention went through when you had, and how it improved or not, then you'll be able to make the change as well very quickly. Because then, you can say, okay, this is acupuncture work, as this is supplement work. So at least you'll be able to. So that was the whole point about having it through the graph itself.
Patients like me, as you know, did that many years ago. And there were instances where a couple of ALS trials were in fact stopped early because they could tell from the data that was being collected that the studies were not beneficial, simply because people were, recording their own data. And this is like a million times more amazing version of what they were doing back then. So
thank you. So, and we can implement something like this in the app and for all the other data as well.
Yeah. Tom Libby's also got a question about how often do you recommend taking the ALS FRSR and the motor movement tests? I think first and foremost, consult, right? Consult with your clinician.
is this,
yeah,
the real answer is we don't know, right? And there's a lot of aspects to this. So some people find that, they don't want to see their, as we've talked about, that they're declining on these things, that's reinforcing, some, perhaps even unhappiness. And so for those, and so maybe doing it too frequently can add into that. I don't think we know the answer. I think part of what we're trying to learn is certainly we can get data more frequently remotely like this than we could if we were bringing people into brick and mortar clinics. But it remains to be seen how frequent is useful and helps us detect changes, and what's meaningful to people living with the disease.
That is a source of constant debate, even between researchers and physicians, right? When they're talking about designing a clinical trial of how often to take these measures.
Yeah. And I think also, we've talked about this too, but in the future, I think more than likely there's going to be things that are passive data collection too, right? Like whether it's shoe soles or something in your Apple Watch, things that are not requiring you to log on and do a task, that might be recording something about how you're walking, or or moving. And there's a lot of potential for that. But, you know, this is the only way we're going to find out is by doing it and getting feedback from people living with the disease and what's a pain in the butt and what's useful and what's meaningful to you and why. And, you know, that's the amazing thing about this community.
That certainly is part of why we view this as the beginning. It will continue to get feedback, and we'll continue to take these ideas of how to refine the app and how to include other important features and functions for you to get the most out of it. Certainly a great comment about making sure that it's integrated into the Apple Watch form as well as Android devices. So.
I'm taking down the notes so that you
Yeah.
can actually start sending it to.
Oh, good. I started doing the same thing. I was like,
Wait, you guys
Also-
don't have AI summarizing this conversation?
No, we do. We
Very
do.
disappointing.
But
Okay.
we actually got Swapnil
Okay.
saying you need to do this. He's already got a list of things in his
yeah. We've got a good backlog of engineering items for the engineering team already, but this is a great way to prioritize as it comes from
And
you.
Lyle can say, you know, a little bit more, but all the data we've collected is really solid data. Everything you guys have put together, every minute, every second, that is what we actually take as our most, you know, our crown jewel is the time that you are spending, because that is the crown jewel. I mean, and that we want to make sure that any time that you spend is really, you know, solid and it actually matters. And the data we've collected right now is always like what we hear is that it's really the best data that anybody has seen, or you know, the progress we're making. And Lyle can say every Thursday when we meet, you know, this is what we use to really find insight. So I just wanted to bring that out, that, you know, any feedback you have, please don't hesitate at all to let us know how we can make this better. And also the more data you put in, you know, just know that, you know, it's going to be used in a meaningful way. And that's why we have the software engineering team and our data science team.
And that's why we give a purpose to each of us. You know, it really, it makes a difference if we feel like we're helping, because we might not just be helping ourselves, which is obvious. We're helping the whole community. And for you to have something that makes you feel like you're powerful, well, these little tests make you powerful because you are contributing to the library that these doctors have to go through to decipher how can we end ALS. It's really the goal of all of us, is that this needs to be history. And it hasn't become history for a long time. And that's because we've never had this type of push on it. So welcome to a new age that we want to kick butt of ALS out the door. And it might take us a little while, but we got the gumption, we got the energy, and we got the time.
I'll add one more point to that too, which is your participation in this is the definition of citizen-driven research, because the more data that's here, it actually informs what we should be able to expect from clinical trial design and other research, because it further proves the point that this data can be collected cleanly, it can be collected much more easily and objectively from a place like your home or wherever you are, that doesn't exhaust you on the way into clinic, that doesn't make for long days, and involve complex traffic. So we're generating all of this to make that case every day, that this is the bar where it should be, and it should be driven by the community.
That's right, folks. We got
Thank
a
you.
whole bunch of detectives out there. They just happen to be Detective ALS. Okay, we're going to detect it, and we're going to, you know, each one of us can help out the next person in the square. I just want to say, until we come up with the cure, we got to come up with our daily routine. And that daily routine has to have something in it that makes us feel a little powerful. And so One of the things that can make you feel powerful is having somebody to tell your deepest concerns to. Sometimes you really don't want to do that to your family. So that's what pals are about. I mean, that's what pals are about. That's what pathfinders are about. We want to hear. It can get bad. But you know what bad is? Bad is just investigating what's really the problem, and there's always some kind of answer. So no matter how bad your situation might get, always come and bring it. Tell us how bad it was last week, and then come and tell us how good it turned out to be because I had somebody to talk to and they gave me some ideas. So please, the Pathfinders are yours. We were formed for you. We are here for each of you. And if you want to have a new friend in your life, hit the Pathfinders. I mean, I think we're pretty, you know what? I'll just take a minute and say, we farmed the Pathfinders, and what I said to them was, hey, we need to be taking care of each other, right? We'll start at home. So if we take care of each of the Pathfinders, then we're just educating ourselves to take care of you. So if you want to be shy, it's okay. If you don't want to be shy, ring our bell. And if you're going to be shy, we're going to find you because we really care about you. And we're detectives too. So you're loved, you're cared for. This is an organization that found its roots in a horrible place. And so we're growing a tree from that dirt. And that tree is going to have the fruit one day that's going to take us away from ALS. So thank you to each of you for being, sometimes words just don't make it, what you're being, because you're obviously more than just a human being. You're people who care. That's why you're here. You care about the other person in the next window. You have found your extended family, and we found you. So together, folks, this is a journey that you do not want to go on by yourself. And sometimes late at night, when you're really concerned, whip out that app and send a little note to a Pathfinder and see what comes back to you. This is serious business, and we're serious about taking the best care we can for each of you. So use us.
Please do reach out
Yeah.
to Pathfinders, to the whole team. We're here.
Because folks, when you reach out, we reach back. It's just that way.
And please share on your social media anything you can do so we can have more people know about, Pathfinders and all the other features as well. So thank you.
Yeah, I always say it's best to educate your friends so that they're not afraid to come around and speak with you. And one of the way you can educate them is to say, hey, let's have a date night with Everything ALS. It's on Wednesday night. Come on over, pop some popcorn, and let's see what we can learn. It's that basic. We're here to serve, and you're here to help serve it up too. Because we're not the professionals. We're like you. We're all trying our best, and we give our all every day. It's like, you wouldn't believe how much you're on our minds. Do you think that a day goes by that we're not thinking, how could we do this a little bit better? What else do we need to do? And so actually we need a little input from you pretty consistently that, hey, I don't think this angle is being taken care of. Is there something you could do about it?
Yeah.
Until you speak up, we'll never know what we have to come up with. Folks, it looks like it's open forum time. It looks like anything goes now. We want to talk about what was exciting last week. Did you see a meteor shower go through the sky? Did you take a ride somewhere that you never been before? Did somebody put you on the back of a motorcycle and just thrill you to death? It's amazing. You know, we have a life, okay? ALS is just, well, it's kind of big, but we're bigger. We're bigger because we think we are. Our minds are a gateway to some freedom that our bodies do not have. So if you need to hang out in your head, hang out with a Pathfinder. And folks, it's pretty simple. Service is an opportunity for us to be who we truly are. Because each one of us are really awesome human beings and we really care about the whole picture. You might not have or you might have a different mother or father, but that doesn't make us all not from the same family. Because that same energy that goes through each of you goes through me. And it's a common bond that each of us have. I think you're sacred. Well, what does that mean? That means that I think that you are worth our time. That is why we are here. I don't think we have anything better to do at this time in our life because we found a need and we're living it. And Dr. David, it's always good to hear from you. Come aboard.
I've been going for the last 4 weeks to something called the Power of Music. And we do qigong and we improvise and we do all kinds of things, and it's great. It's a wonderful gathering of people. Yeah, yeah. It's put on by the Alzheimer's Society.
Oh,
yeah. They do a good job.
well,
Yeah.
you know what, folks? I think a lot of neurological diseases are connected.
Yeah,
And it's,
I think so.
Yeah, a different branch on the same tree.
Sure.
So, David, how long have you been doing Qigong?
Oh, I've been doing it for since 1991.
See, folks, you can get into some habits that are really cool.
Yeah.
And what we do for our bodies, we do for our soul. It's like we need to take care of ourselves in ways that we don't even understand. That's why Qigong. I mean, I've never done it before. So, David, thank you so much for making that suggestion.
Yeah, it's a really good thing. It kind of grounds you, and the guy who leads this course has been doing this for many, many, many years. Not as long as I have been doing it.
Well, we appreciate that you do things that are healthy for yourself and that you share it with us because we're pretty busy, folks. We got a lot of things to do every day. It keeps us really busy. I think we should take up a time schedule and make sure that we're doing some things for ourselves. It's so easy just to think about other people, to think about other things, but to actually write down, hey, I've got a little menu for myself. And then once you have that, then you don't have to think about what you want to do tomorrow. You just look at the menu and say, okay, that's what I'm up to.
Yeah.
Brother John, my Pathfinder friend, come aboard.
Yeah, a couple things. Once this morning when I went to turn the porch light off, I looked out through the window and it was a clear sky for me, and it was a beautiful full moon setting down on the horizon coming up. And then an hour after that, the sun came up once again on a cloudless sky. to make you realize that we're just a small part of this big universe, but there's beauty in all. And on a personal note, my wife is out of town for a little while. In one of my other support groups, I started taking the harmonica, not necessarily for the musical aspect of it, but is to help with your breathing in and out. So all of us need to be aware of our breathing. And this is a way to incorporate some fun and to get some breathing exercises, deep ins and outs, and trying to get a little rhythm, which is difficult for some of us, but it was a nice little thing to try.
I play the harmonica, John. I am so glad to hear you picked it up. It travels very well as instruments go. One little tip, that's not an instrument you share.
Folks, we are amazing. And you know what? Thank you, John, because I've had my harmonica forever, and it's just a wonderful thing. You do not have to know how to play it. All you have to do is know how to breathe and love the sounds that you make.
Yeah.
Pretty forgiving. Yeah.
Yeah, I went into the hospital once. One of my hospice patients was there, and he said, "McFinn, there's just the noise of the air conditioning and the people in the hallway. Is there anything you could turn me on to that'd be more better?" I said, "Yeah, I've got my harmonica. You want to hear it?" So, John, we're gonna play harmonica together one day, brother.
One day, I just had a single class. So give me a few years, okay?
Gotta get Willard in on that little
I don't,
treat.
yeah, I was just gonna say, I don't know if I've shared with you all that my experience with the acephalophone. I don't know if I've told you, but anyway, I was fortunate to meet a doctor, a doctor up in Seattle, Washington. I went up there and visited him. He's a neurologist, but he also invented this equipment that works along with the grand piano. And the basis of it is it allowed me to play piano with my brain. And it
Wow.
was a way for me to still engage in music. I don't know. I've been doing music for the last 35, 40 years, and I want to do it as much as I can. And this is one way I can continue to write and play with other folks.
Right.
I was able to jam with 4 other people who had instruments, and I played with my brain with them. That was amazing for me.
Thank you, Willard. You know, Willard was the head of the Gator Nation band. He still is. And Willard wrote an amazing song about ALS and about love and about life. And Willard, we are so happy to have you part of our family. Thank you, brother.
Right on. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I think we're all glad to be here. I know Tony is. Hi, Tony. I just love that smile sitting next to you, brother. Just amazing. I know. It's those people who love us, there's nothing more precious. Well, folks, this is open forum. This is your time. Tell us about something that isn't amazing, but you love.
Well, for me this week, I'm almost done all my chelation that I've been starting, and I get to find out my results next week. So I'm really looking forward to that. Been doing it for about 4 weeks now, and like you, McFinn, at really high lead levels and that kind of thing. So we'll see what the results are next week.
Thank you, Sean. Sean was just saying he just did the heavy metals test. It's an interesting thing at our age. Once you're over 50, it's like you've collected pretty much what you're going to collect, and it's really good to know about it. So do yourself a favor and get to know yourself a little deeply. The world is kind of a toxic place. I hate to say that, but it is. And there's things that we never think about until we fall down. So I got my colonic, got all my intestines cleaned out, got my heavy metals test, and working on a fun diet. something that I really like. And that's what I say to all of you. Find that food that really turns you on and keep eating it. Keep that weight on and enjoy.
Give your body the best fighting chance it can, right?
Yes. And I'm always picking on you, Tom Libby, because Tom is my dessert man. He is he's the guy who'll tell you the bigger the dessert, the better weight you'll have. All right, keep that weight on. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah.
Patty, come aboard, dear.
Help me talk.
Sure.
Well, this week I went.
This week you went dancing to a dancing class.
I'm.
Her breathing went down, but but she used the walker in order to go in and she had to sit down occasionally, but she made it through the whole class dancing.
So I love dancing. It's very fun. And everyone, they all welcome me.
Yeah, everyone in the class welcomed her and were very, very kind, very nice.
Very kind. It was fun. If you have to be different.
Yeah,
And look
fine.
at that left hand go. It's working so good. Way to go, Patty.
That is awesome, Patty. Thank you, dear.
And
You know,
on lesson 60, Chinese, tomorrow I can't talk. He understands me.
Yeah, I think you probably understood that is that I've been through the video series on ASL, and so now I'm a lot better at being able to interpret for her when she can't speak.
thank you,
Yeah.
Jim. You're our hero and Patty's hero, buddy. This is why we care for each other, folks. It is so amazing, that trauma brings out the best in us for other people because we feel for you, Patty, and we are so this kind of thing that is so cool. Amazing. If we could only learn a couple of words, people would be amazed. We'll walk up to somebody and they go, "What's that? I love you." I just didn't want to say it. I didn't want to get into your face, but I just wanted the universe to know that I love you. So
I'm trying to encourage my friends to learn the alphabet.
Yeah, she's trying to encourage her friends to learn the alphabet because if you just know the alphabet and English, then you can still communicate if you can't talk.
wow.
And we something fun. We invited international students deaf to live at our house and to have more people talking.
Yeah, so she's saying that we invited international exchange student from Vietnam who's deaf to stay with us, and so that she has more interaction through signing. She doesn't have to try to speak as much. She can just sign and have more communication without stressing herself on the talking.
It's so fun. I have a deaf caregiver from Afghanistan.
She has a deaf caregiver from Afghanistan that we brought in too.
And the two of them, they are so fun. I all kinds of vacation
It's a lot of fun, and she learns all kinds of communications through
with
gestures with them.
Anyway.
Love it. Thank you. That's folks, that is a real what do you call that? Aid for living when you're not able to speak any longer. Um, what an inspiration you are, dear. Thank you so much. And your husband Jim is just wordless. I'm not going to say what he is because he's more than I can come up with. But you can come up with what he is. Folks, if you can, well, I'll just say my wife and I took 2 years of ballroom dance lessons together. And so we kind of we used to dance all over our house all the time. But my wife got Parkinson's disease, and so her balance isn't enough to do that anymore. So we kind of just look at each other and smile and kind of just move just as much as we can. So you do what you can, and you be happy with that. Uh, I'm with you, Patty. It's and you know what? Taking care of your partner, there's no greater when you when I go to sleep at night, I got a big smile on my face because I know my wife is safe in bed and she was well taken care of today. It's just something that each one of us got a deep heart. And I think everybody here, you know, when you have ALS and it's really traumatic, I think you feel more for other people because you have experienced this tremendous difficulty. And it just makes you, I think it makes you a stronger person inside because once your body isn't working so well, you have your attitude left. And our attitude is one of those things that is more powerful than we have any idea. Every thought that we run through our mind is a physical substance. I was just listening to my spiritual teacher the other day, and he told me, he said, McFinn, all those things that you're upset about, you're upsetting your body. So don't think that your mind and your body are two different things. They're deeply connected. So I have a trick. And my trick is when things get me upset, I have 3 words that give me a break and let me say to myself, do you really want to keep going in that direction? So my 3 words are peace on earth. And that gives me like 2 seconds to decide, do I want to get upset again? No, I don't think so. I think I'd rather have peace on earth. So finding just this little, whatever you want to call it, that can help you get past a difficult moment. Those are the little things that you invent for yourself. Because sometimes people just can't tell you the answer. And hopefully you can tell yourself the answer. Because I don't think anybody knows you really better than you. And spending a little bit of time in front of the mirror saying hi, rather than just brushing your teeth and combing your hair, is a little bit intimidating sometimes. But I think it's a real way to get to your inner being is by looking at yourself and going, is that all I am? I don't think so. So I have an attitude that tells me I'm here to serve and it'll serve me best if I do it. So there's something about the energy of giving. And so in your wheelchair, in your home, and wherever you're at, there's always a way to give a little something to someone, or maybe even a 4-legged. I love those little 4-leggeds or those 2-leggeds with wings. If you have a little animal in your life, it really takes away a little bit of the stress because you look at that animal, it's looking at you, and you're like, come here, I want to pet you. And anyway, animals to me, I don't think we really understand how wonderful they are. So, but I know that you do. If you have a pet, I know how much you love that pet. Now, one of the things, I might have told you this before, I went to the doctor's office and I said to my doctor, I said, hey, doc, do you ever pet yourself? And she looked at me and kind of smiled and said, I don't know about that. I said, well, when you get home at night in your car and you're safe and you kind of tap your console there and say, thanks for getting me home. I said, I do that to myself. I tap myself and I say, thank you this day. Some of us never give ourselves that encouragement. We're all like, No, I mean, we are powerful beings because we have a frame of mind and it will drive us crazy or it will lift us to the sky. It's pretty simple, but it's pretty delicate also. Each one of us is delicate in a certain way, and that's emotionally. And so we need to be supported. With this disease, there's nothing better than getting a phone call from your best friend saying, hey, I know what you're going through today. Can I come over? I want to take you for a ride. This is what we have to get our friends to understand. Isolation is not where we're at. ALS is not who we are. I'm still your buddy. Come on over. Take me out for a beer or whatever you want to do. But don't think that I'm just okay by myself. And if you don't know what to say to me, tell me you don't know what to say to me. I mean, it's really something for us to educate our friends about this disease so that they feel okay coming over and visiting, because sometimes they just don't know what to say. So it's up to us to make that open door for our friends. And one of the best ways, I said it earlier, bring them to one of these programs and they will get to understand that you have an extended family of wonderful people. And they might just want to get to be one of those wonderful people and spend a little bit more time with you. It's our occupation to make other people feel comfortable around us. Otherwise, they don't want to be. So to each of you and your attitudes, I raise my glass of kombucha and say, we can do this. In fact, I talked to a person just the other day and she said, I really gave up. I'm having a terrible time. And her best friend said to her, I know about terrible times, but I want you to go outside and just look at the first thing that you look at and see what it really means to you. Now, this is pretty crazy, but she walked out of her door and there was a deer with a big set of horns standing in her driveway. And she looked at that. She couldn't believe it. And she said, okay, I can do this. So I just heard that from our friend Mindy like 3 days ago. It was like, okay. She said, I don't know how that person conjured that up, but so there's a lot of responsibility in this. And sometimes it's in your lap. And so please share it in our lap. Because as we keep saying, this is possibly an isolated disease or isolating disease, but not with us. Look who's here. Look at your extended family. And they keep coming back, which is the most beautiful thing. When I see Patty and Jim taking care of each other like this over this length of time, I know that they have found their extended family and that they welcome us into their family. It's, you got it, sister. We found each other. This is not an accident. So, as I say, it's okay to be shy. It's okay not to say anything. Just show up and know we're here for you. And if you have anything you'd like to share with the other folks, we'd love to hear it. But don't ever feel any pressure. I always say this is a non-stress club. We don't want anything in your life except for you to calm down and hug yourself if you can. Or look in the mirror and wink and say, hey, welcome to a new day. When I wake up in the morning, it's the first thing I do is I wave to the day and say, hi, I'm coming. So start your day off as positive as you can, and it might continue that way. because most things are just a frame of mind. Got anything to say about that, Eddie? Or just a smile? Ha ha! A smile does it, folks. You know, yeah, you see, I see that on Tony. For us to smile is an amazing chemical reaction that happens inside of us, and our bodies love it. So, one other thing, put a smile on your face before you go to sleep. You're setting a pattern for an interesting dream state. These are just, little McFinn things that I do. And so I love to share what I do. I don't share what I read, but I share what I experience. And I think each of you are an amazing experience. Folks, Tom.
For Jim and Patty, what is this?
Tom, you're awesome, brother. You are awesome.
I can't do it. It's supposed to be horn and it's bullshit.
We're with you, brother. Woo! Sailing.
I have a friend, she does sign language in school, and she knows all the curse words. She was teaching me. I'll have a few more next week.
You are funny.
That's useful.
Yeah, it's useful. We could use those.
All right, there you got it. Joey, you got a big smile on your face, dear, and you're wearing red. Right on. So yeah, I got to tell you, my first note, my first love note on the Pathfinder that came to me, it came from Joey. It was like, Joey. I was so amazed. My first, anyway, a first is a big deal. Okay, so Joey and me made the first connection together, and I was blown away. It was like, wow, this thing works. So, folks, we got each other. Let's dance together in any way we can. So, you know what happens at the last few moments? We bring our hearts out and we make them big and we share them with each other. And I'm getting better, I think. Oh, I found it. I got it. Almost. Gotta keep trying. But I see you through my heart. Yes. We're supposed to be having this much fun.
So this is
We
from the Black Panther too, Chakal. Willard, I remember.
Hey, everybody bring your secret symbols and your little gestures and share them, because you don't need to keep them secret anymore. We're too old to keep secrets. We got to tell all of our secrets. All right. Okay. Pick out somebody that you want to say goodnight to, folks. On 3, 1, 2, 3. Good night, Sean.
Eddie.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Debbie. Good night.
See you next time.
Willard, the
Thank you.
surprise, my brother.
Good
Robert.
night.
Thank you, Robert. And Tony.
Love you, hon. I'm on my way.
Good night,
And
everyone.
Good night, McFinn.
Oh,
Good night, Miss Kim.
oh, Kimmy. Thank you. I told my wife that you asked about her last
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you.
Tell her
And
hi.
all right, Ed Martin, we're on your side, buddy. We are in your corner.
Yep.
We are in your heart. And I love it that you showed up again here. So just keep coming back because, you know, everybody is more important than they realize. But we're here to tell you how important you are.
Good night, Robert.
Amen.
Yeah, and Robert, you're coming from the Dominican Republic?
Florida.
Oh, love that, brother. It's a worldwide organization.
Florida.
Oh, Florida. Huh, okay. Hey,
warm.
right on,
Close
brother.
enough. Close enough.
Beautiful. All right. Sadhu, thank you for being here tonight. You're always a fun person to hear. And Pat Moon, Moon. Mom. Hey,
None.
yeah. Thanks, Pat. You always forgiving McFinn. He tries. And Indu, thank you so much for being here tonight. Everybody appreciates the Everything ALS creation. It started one day, many years ago, and look what it turned into. So with that, I'm so proud of all of you. Thank you for being who you are. And see us in 7. All right. Hey, Pat, thanks for showing your face there, brother. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Thanks. Kisses and hearts and love. What more can we do? All right. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah.
Bye, Ed. Again, bye, Kimmy.